Dear child of a mentally ill and abusive parent, let's talk about some of the non-physical signs of trauma. While I never had visible bruises from my parents' abuse, there were tells that indicated what I was going through behind closed doors. One of my tells were my obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Even though I don't have clinical OCD, I do have some neurodivergent tendencies as a result of this trauma. The way that my obsessive-compulsive tendencies most typically played out were obsessive checking. Rather than the normal behavior of checking one time when a parent asks if you've packed something for school or done a chore, I would check 5, 10, multiple times because I had to make sure that it was done, that my parent wasn't going to blow up at me, and that I was self-protecting through this obsessive tendency. Another tell was constant apologizing, especially in situations where I hadn't done anything wrong, but I could sense that the mood or that my parents' behavior was starting to shift towards those abusive tendencies, and so I would begin apologizing compulsively to protect myself. This is still a behavior that comes out when I'm really stressed because it was hardwired into my nervous system for decades. Luckily, I now have safe, healthy people in my life who will gently ask why I'm apologizing in these current stressful situations. And then it reminds me that I have a trauma trigger to address and that I actually haven't done something wrong to apologize for. The last main tell that something else was going on and that maybe trauma or abuse was present in my childhood was the fact that I was rarely allowed to speak for myself when my mentally ill and abusive parent was part of a conversation. Even if other adults or individuals directed conversation or questions to me, rather than letting me answer or speak for myself, my parent would talk over me. Yes, I'm an introvert, but I always felt pretty comfortable talking to adults. It's not like I was overwhelmingly shy. It was simply that my parent was threatened by the fact that something could come out or that I could share something that would make them look bad. And so I wasn't allowed to speak very often. Now, this is not an exhaustive list of non-physical, non-bruise kind of ways that trauma and abuse can manifest themselves, but it's worth paying attention both to yourself and other people to see what repetitive behaviors happen and whether or not those might be indicative that something deeper is going on.